House Ways and Means Committee is revealing brand new information right now from a whistleblower in the IRS investigation of Hunter Biden. David Spunt's got more from the Justice Department on what we are learning right now. David.
Sandra, interesting material here. This is hundreds of pages of testimony just released by the Republican-led House Ways and Means Committee. As you mentioned, this is the IRS investigation into the president's son, Hunter Biden. I may say the IRS investigation that led to a plea deal for the president's son, pleading guilty, announcing he would plead guilty to 2 misdemeanor tax violations 2 days ago. Now, last month, IRS Supervisory Special Agent Gary Shapley, who announced his name publicly, gave testimony for hours behind closed doors and said the Department of Justice, where I am, slow-walked the investigation and made his job difficult. He's since been removed from that probe. Now we're seeing what he said in his testimony, and in one section that stands out, it relates to now President Joe Biden. According to Shapley, he saw a WhatsApp message sent by Hunter Biden to a Chinese businessman in 2017. Let me read it. Quote, "We obtained a July 30th, 2017 WhatsApp message from Hunter Biden to Henry Zhao, where Hunter Biden wrote, quote, 'I am sitting here with my father, and we would like to understand why the commitment made has not been fulfilled. Tell the director that I would like to resolve this now before it gets out of hand, and now means tonight,' end quote. President Biden, as we all know, has repeatedly denied discussing any business deals with his son. A source familiar with the IRS probe tells Fox News this tax investigation that Shapley was assigned to is the same one that led to the Hunter Biden plea deal. Now, Chairman Jason Smith, the Republican from Missouri on House Ways and Means, said today to a reporter that the committee did not actually see any of Hunter Biden's tax returns or didn't request his tax returns. They're going solely off this whistleblower and another unnamed whistleblower. Meanwhile, Hunter Biden will appear in court for his first appearance and to enter those guilty pleas at the end of next month in Wilmington, Delaware on July 26th. Sandra.
All right, David Spunt live at the Justice Department on that breaking news for us. Thank you, David. John?
Sandra, let's bring Mark Thiessen back in, former White House speechwriter for President Bush and a Fox News contributor. I should point out I was in Hyderabad with Clinton in '99, Ahmedabad with Trump in 2020.
So you've been everywhere in India, John.
Everywhere. I've even been to Kashmir, which was really interesting. So anyways, this is from Shapley's opening statement. He says, "I'm blowing the whistle because the Delaware U.S. Attorney's Office, Department of Justice, Tax and Department of Justice provided preferential treatment and unchecked conflicts of interest in an important and high-profile investigation of the president's son, Hunter Biden." This is really interesting information to come to light.
It's very interesting information, and that email that David just read is just shocking because Hunter got $8.3 million from various interests, including $100,000 from that company in China. And we've got this email where he says 3 times, "I'm sitting with my father. I will make sure the man sitting next to me and every person I know and my ability to forever hold a grudge, you will regret not following my direction. I'm sitting here waiting for the call with my father." Now, he might not be telling the truth. He might have been lying and his father wasn't there. We don't know. One of the things that one of the benefits maybe of this plea deal is that if he's no longer under federal criminal investigation, maybe he should be brought up to Congress to testify under oath and tell us, were you sitting with your father when you wrote that message? Was the big guy right there next to you? Was he involved in this? Because now Hunter Biden can't just say, "Well, I'm sorry, I'm under criminal investigation, so I can't testify." I think they ought to call him up there to testify in open hearing about all these questions.
Which would boil that down to, based on everything you just said, one crucial question: who is lying? Then is it Joe Biden or is it Hunter Biden, Mark?
It could be either way. We'd have to find out, but let's get him under oath. And this is the problem why when you have a plea deal, you don't have a trial, and so therefore you don't have cross-examination and asking these questions. It's a real easy way to shove all these questions under the rug. The Congress has subpoena power. Congress can call him up to testify. He's got no reason not to testify now. So let's get him up there and answer the question. When you said, "I'm sitting here with my father," the man sitting next to me, I'm sitting here waiting for the call with my father. Was he sitting there? Was he involved in that conversation? Was he a participant in that discussion?
Because so sorry, John, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Senator.
Because you go back to, and of course we always pull the transcript. This was September 2019, Mark. President Biden said, quote, I've never spoken to my son about his overseas business dealings. Obviously, he's implicated in these messages that we are now reading.
Those two things can't both be true.
Yep.
Either he was sitting there when that was happening and waiting for that email, WhatsApp message, or he's never discussed it. One is true and one of them is lying.
So just going through some more of the testimony, according to Shapley, IRS officials recommended that Hunter Biden be charged with criminal activity that includes attempts to evade or defeat taxes, fraud and false statements, and willful failures to file returns, supply information, or pay taxes. That's what the IRS, according to Shapley, recommended. That is not what the DOJ pursued.
Yeah, I mean, this is an under. If there's ever been an under indictment, this is it. Again, would someone else have been treated this way? I don't know. But the other thing that's really concerning is the potential retaliation against some of these whistleblowers, because we wouldn't know a lot of the Congress wouldn't know a lot of this information if it wasn't for IRS whistleblowers coming forward and going to Senator Grassley and giving this information directly to Congress. Their plan was to sort of have this indictment and shove it all under the rug, and no one would know about these emails and all this information. So we need to get to the bottom of not just what Hunter Biden did and whether Joe Biden was involved in it, but the retaliation against the whistleblowers who came forward to Congress.
All right, Mark Thiessen, on that breaking news for us.